Howdy, folks. Welcome, one and all. I'm just getting everything started here. Alrighty. And I'm going to do another wonderful evening here. I'm going to do some soldering of some motor cables because it's about time I soldered some motor cables. It's been a while. Let's see here. Go to my studio. Make sure this is monetized. That's always a pain in the butt. So how's everybody doing tonight? And on. Much better. How's it going, CCNC? CCNC. Missed a C. I'm just having a nice little evening soldering some motor cables. Let me put these away. Clear up a little space here. Okay. Alrighty. Oh. Glad I built that strong. Okay. Yep, I just finished a few aviation connectors myself. Where did I put them? Oh, I finished the male version, the male connectors. Now I'll do a few female connectors, and I'll need to get my done it once before, and I could use any. Oh, that's easy. I'll be happy to give you all the tips. Give me a second. Why? My cable was caught here. Let me grab my cable. All right. Watch as I solder, and I'll and hopefully this will help you a considerable amount. Let's see. Two of them are going to be 6 foot long. I'll make them a little longer for my customers. I'm making 2 sets, so I'm doing 4 short cables and 4 long cables. The JaviBox controllers that I have 2 6-foot cables and 2 12-foot cables. So. Okay, here we go. First step, as always, cut your connectors. Now, what I like to do first, and that depends on whether you want to do this or not, but you could do it first, you could do it last, but if you put 2 connectors on, or rather if you wire, like in my case, I'm wiring the motor to the aviation connector. If you do that, and and forget, then, well, you're screwed, because the heat shrink is one of the most important steps. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a green heat shrink connector. Let me see. I'm sorry. Not green. It's going to be yellow and blue. Yellow and blue, because this is the these are the short ones. So I'm making 2 blue ones and 2 yellow ones. So I'll put a yellow one on either side and a blue one on either side. Well, I won't forget the other one, but right now I'm just working on the tip side. So let's start with the first one. Let me clear my table out here a little. Turn on the soldering iron. That's already hot. It's a beautiful thing about this soldering iron. It takes 1 minute to warm up. Okay. And let's just adjust the camera so you guys can see better. Bear with me. There we go. That should give you a nice view. Of course, we strip the cable first. Depending on... here's the little structural string. Now, it's very important that you do this in the right order. First of all, I mean, notice I put the strip connector, but this goes first. So let's take our... let's open our connector, saving the screw so you don't forget it anywhere. And of course, so the connector, then you got the heat shrink. This is just basic stuff, but a lot of people forget this, and then they have an issue. Now this is basically going to be all covered up by the connector, but I still want to cut them a little shorter. So what I'll do is I'll strip them first, nice and relatively short. And what I like to do is I like to strip. I use my my strippers, and I strip a piece, so I could take this part and twist, and then I've got them all twisted. Okay, so now begins the tips on the soldering. First of all, obviously, cut them to a good size, which is, say, 1/4 inch to 3/16. Know ahead of time where you're soldering what. For instance, first I'm gonna go ahead and solder the. If I plug them in this way, it's red, blue, yellow, black. So let me solder the red one first. Let me see. I like to hold my my soldering tip on I'm right-handed, so I hold it from this side, which means this is the easiest way for me to solder. Well, you would think so, but sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. But that means that I got to hold this thing with my left hand this way, and that's annoying. So if I hold it this way, then this is the easiest way for me to solder. Anyway, I'll clip this, and again, double check everything. This is my first connector, which is the red. Oh, grab my other clamp here. Clamp it any way you want. Now, this is the important part. Take your connector and tin them first. Always, always, always tin both the wire and the connector. Never solder without tinning, or you are basically looking for a bad solder or a melted or burned piece. Okay, so obviously, well, not obviously, but tin the solder the soldering tip first, because this creates a heat bridge to the thing, so you got to get it hot, but not too hot, just enough that it should flow right to it. And you'll notice that it's nice, and I don't even know if it'll focus there, but anyway, this is a nice little solder on each one. And then it's a really, really simple procedure. Now, this connector is a lot easier than these connectors. Takes a little bit of skill to do the. I mean, I've been doing it for years, so it's second hat, but it's old hat, but second nature. But those connectors, those solder cups is what they call them. They get to be a pain sometimes. Yep, Bobby back again for another extended cut. All right, so we have our, we're going to solder our red connector there. As soon as I can figure out where I put my, here they are. Now, again, folks, twist your wire. I mean, you don't have to, but I would rather twist it because that helps it not come frayed or undone and stuff. And of course, tin the wires as well. You could put the soldering gun under the, no, hang on a second. I got this stupid pop-up and I can't see the screen. There we go. So you can put the soldering gun underneath this part, and then put the solder and let the solder melt on it, which is ideal except for one thing. If it's not very recently tinned, like right now, boom, tin, touch, that'll transfer the heat, and then even then, it's a lot easier when you hold stuff together. But anyway, the trick is the heat. It's all about the heat. If the heat doesn't transfer to whatever you're soldering, and quickly, because you don't want it to linger there, because then you're gonna, if you leave it there for too long, the whole thing will warm up slowly, and then the insulation or the plastic on the connectors will melt. So the last thing you want is for it to warm up slowly. All right, so all four of these are tinned. All right, that one's missing a little bit on this side, so I just want to make sure I get a good coating on each one. So there we are. Keep your tip clean, as always. That applies to every situation, folks. Not just soldering. All right, so here we go. I'm going to solder from this side, and just making sure, yep, this is my red over here. All right, so the cups is what you're doing. So yeah, so as far as, I'll probably do one or two of them. So I'll show you about how to do those. But basically, with this, I mean, like I said, it's a piece of cake. Keep your tip clean. Both of these things, it's similar with the cups. Both of them have connectors on it, have solder tinned on it. Slightly, just get enough to heat it. It's done. Hold it there for a few seconds, and you're good to go. I'm just going to go ahead and rotate and do the next one, which is the blue. Then rotate for the, well, I do the black next and then the yellow. So, but whatever order you do, as long as you know what colors you're putting everywhere. So you notice I just give it a light touch, and now one thing you got to make sure is make sure there's no spring action on this thing. In other words, right now I'm going to solder this piece onto this. I can't just leave it there, because then when I press it, it'll come right back up. So I'm actually going to bend it, give it a little bit of a bend inward, and then bend the whole cable back. Now I can control it back from this cable, and that's more than enough to keep it, to make sure that I can zip, touch it, melt it, put it together, and there's just a slight bit of pressure. Now when I let go, it's after it's been cooled, and it's done. So there it is. And what I do, for mine anyway, this is good. This is solid. Let me make sure. Red, blue, black, yellow. Perfect. And then I take the heat shrink. I take my little heat gun and put the old heat shrink on. You don't have to do this. It's just for appearances and professionalism and appearing professional. So yeah, I'll do one of the others for you now, so you can see how it's done. Give me a second. Let me. All right, so we have our piece here. Let me take and open it up a little more without losing the screws. So it'll fit on this thing, and it goes in and to the right. Got a magnetic head on this thing, so I just use the tip without the screwdriver because, frankly, it's easier for me to twist it. One of these little tips. It's there's no point. Okay, so there you go. You got a good solid connection. Now let's go ahead and do one of these puppies. And so I'll go grab one in my stack. And, whoop, that's not it. What's that doing in there? There we go. Okay. So we have our 4 connections. All right. I'm just going to place it here in this thing, and this will, I'll be happy to, happy to help. Okay, so you got the 4 connections. Again, make sure your tip is clean. I just basically brushed it against my sponge. Now, you're tinning these. Always tin them. Always tin everything. First, tin this. So you can have, and when and I'm talking throughout this, but normally what I would be doing is tinning and immediately going back there, because the rosin is basically still, which is keeping the oxidation away, is still burning off while I'm tinning it. But it's very important to have the rosin. Okay, so there's different ways of doing it. Keep it, make sure there's a bit of heat between this and that. In other words, make sure there's heat transfer and this is getting hot. But you're looking, again, what you're trying to do is you're not trying to put it on there and heat the thing and heat the thing and heat the thing and then let this. There's another way of doing it besides the way I did it. Okay, here's one way of doing it, which is I have the tip on the cup side or across the cup side, and I let the solder transfer the heat. And then again, it should, and it does, but it's hard to see from your angle, but it melts in there and drops in there. But you can't hold it there too long, or these plastic pegs will melt and, you know, fall right through. The other way of doing it is the following. And this is the way a lot of people recommend it, and a lot of people like to do it this way. It's a pain in the butt sometimes. But what you do is you put a little dab on the solder, put it to the back, just enough so I can heat the back of it. And then from the front, I touch the solder to the cup, and it should melt and drop right in. You know, and it does. Hang on, let me clean the tip. Always make sure your tip is clean. Okay, so I touch it ever so slightly. There, just enough. Now see, it takes a little longer, but there it is. The whole tip is hot now. And then take it off. Now, you got to be very, very careful because, again, you heat this up too much, you could be shoving the thing down. So, another way to do it, there's a third way. One way is like, okay, right now the cup is facing this way on this last one. All right. I could either put the soldering iron across the cup. I could put the soldering iron on the back of the cup, or I could put the soldering iron right on the very, very tip and let the solder flow down. Either way, the most important part is that cup has to get hot. You can't drip solder, or it will never adhere. It's all about the heat transfer. So right now I'll do it the third way, which is I'll get near the top of the cup and I'll touch the solder. So the solder is touching the top of the cup, and then it's just flowing down. Now the only problem with it, and remember to pull your thing away from the back, because although the solder is going to drop into the cup, most of it, there's a chance when you're putting solder on the soldering iron, if you put too much solder on the soldering iron, there's a chance that the solder will stick to the back, and then you're going to have a little glob of solder back there. You don't want a glob of solder. This is all you want. Basically, this is it. I mean, it's just, that's it. That's the perfect amount of solder for the cups. Now, I'll take my wires. Let's see, what wires am I using for this? Red, green, blue, and black. There's a red, there's a black, there's a blue. I already pre-cut a bunch of my wires, so, and there's a green. All right. Now, it'd be easier if I was using thinner wires, but I am using 18 gauge wires because I don't want to fry the wires. I need thick wires for the thing. Strip your wires just enough, you know. Basically, a 1/4 inch or so is what you're looking at. Twist them. And again, the most important step ever, tin them. So tin the wires. Let me just tin all 4, and then I'll let go of them because and by the way, if you spend too long on a wire and it doesn't tin properly, then it gets to the point where it's not accepting any solder, cut it and strip it and start again, because sometimes, you know, you heat it, you unheat it, you heat it, you unheat it, and then the solder itself is just completely oxidized. There's a reason why I'm doing it quickly. The cup does not need to fill all the way, but I mean, as you could see here, I pretty much have it all the way filled. I mean, don't leave it empty on the bottom, but I mean, it's your call, because here's what happens now. Now, let me see. I wish there was a way I could get this a little closer, but there's not. All right, so I mean, I guess you could see this part, but anyway, here goes. Let me you got to work also at a very comfortable angle, you know, because luckily these particular cups, they all curve toward the outside. These two on the bottom go this way, the two on the top go this way, so they're all outward. Sometimes you'll be a situation where all four cups are the same way. I mean, I've worked on both of them, and it's just you get used to it after a while. But all right, so right now I'm going to solder this one here. Okay, so I'm soldering this one here. What I like to do is, let me see. Yeah. Okay, so let me. Okay, what I like to do is I'm ready to solder that one. I could do it from this angle, but frankly, I don't like that angle. I usually do it from the top. So let me again. The red one over here is what I want. Now, when it comes to these, like I said, get yourself a nice, good, comfortable angle. Make sure this is secure. And again, it's the same procedure. You put a little tiny amount on the solder. Make sure it's clean first so you don't have a glob of it. Tiny amount, and that will not only allow the heat to transfer from the solder, but and then immediately touch this. So have this ready to go, and then the heat from the soldering gun through using the solder and the rosin will transfer and melt not only the wire solder, but the one in the cup. So here we go. We melt, we place it just a little bit in, and then as it melts, you know, and this is the part you gotta be careful. You gotta melt kind of both at the same time. See, this is not melting fast enough. There we go. Sometimes it does take a little while, and then you press the yeah, I was just checking, make sure my soldering gun was still on, because sometimes it turns off on me. Okay, so red, blue, well, let's go ahead and do the blue one next. Do the ones far away from you first, so then, because if I did this one next, then I'd be melting the wire when I'm trying to do this one. So do the ones far away. Okay, so grab a bit of solder. And then here we go. Melt that. Melt this. Take your time. If you do it right, you're melting both the solder in the cup and whatever tiny little amount you tin this with. They're blending together, and at the same time, you are moving the tip of the soldering iron along with the tip of the wire downwards, or maybe sometimes you got to go up and down a little bit downwards, so it's heating the cup all the way to the bottom, so you can actually insert the like right here. I'm going to insert the there we go. Once it gets to a certain point, this wire should drop right in the cup. So is that too big? Is what too big? 18 gauge? That depends on your soldering level, your skill level. Because, I mean, I do it all the time. It depends. For a GX16, it's 18 gauge is the max. For a GX12, it's too big. The connectors. The GX12 is really, it's kind of up to 16 gauge, really. But That's pushing it. No, it's not up to 16 gauge. That's wrong. Okay, wait a second. Where's my... Okay, it's a black one. I lost my black cable. I'll just grab one of these. So yeah, I missed when you let's see, your spindle requires 16 gauge. I ordered double shielded cable. Yeah, it's borderline. It's borderline. I mean, okay, so 16 gauge. You ordered double shielded cable from Corvette guy on eBay. If your spindle calls for 16 gauge, then use 16 gauge cable. I mean, don't go any less. You can do it. It's easily doable. Because like I said, GX16 will go to 16 gauge. GX12 I think is 20, maybe pushing 18. You could do 18, but not very effectively. So anyway, I wish I had a good angle to show you. I'm sorry, my camera's not a macro camera, but basically you, like I said, you try to heat the cup. You try to heat the cup and the solder of the wire at the same time and lightly push it in. It should fall right in because it should be all liquid. Without doing so much that you melt all the plastic all around you. And by all means, do not use on these things. Don't use flux. You can, but I would not. I have used flux in the past, and what happens is if you don't burn off all the flux, this is paste flux or otherwise. If you don't burn off all the flux, you're going to have a trace of it, and it's acid, and it will basically eat the copper. And you're going to have a nice solid joint, and the wire will just break right off within a matter of a month or two. It'll just corrode. All right, so after this, what I like to do is heat shrink. And see, I used to heat shrink the whole thing, but I try to stay away from that now. Uh-oh, there's a mosquito in here. Great. That's going to be annoying. So I'd rather, it's not that much more. It's not a big pain in the butt to heat shrink each individual cable. And frankly, you're better off because when you heat shrink the whole thing, yeah, it looks nice and it covers it up. I mean, but heat shrinking the cables individually protects them. And also prevents them from, it just gives them an extra layer of protection and doesn't allow them to bend or any corrosion to get in there. When you get pretty good, you can do something to this level, where these are very, very. These are GX12s, and these are very, very, very small cables, and they're nice and precise. And then I just basically crimp on the connectors. Prepare a whole bunch of them at once, and hark, I hear Mr. Russ. Hey, Russ.
How'd you know it was me?
The only one I sent an invitation to. And,
oh, hell. I tried to sneak in.
And it went deep.
What's going on?
Nothing much. Just doing some soldering. I was soldering some motors. And then, I could always use an extra one of these, or 10 or 20 or 200. So when CC&C said that he's doing some soldering, if I give him some tips, I say, yeah, sure, and then basically showed him how to do this one. So this is basically this is basically a finished connector. Nice and neat, good and solid, and all that. Well, there you go. So let me get back to soldering these connectors.
Okay.
Right, so yeah. So first thing I want to do again is grab a connector. Oh, here they are, right next to me.
Oh boy, here we go.
She can't wait for what?
To listen to something. I don't have a clue, man. We like, I don't know if I told you, but we cut the cord, the cable from a couple months ago.
Nice. Yeah.
And,
You did tell me. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, we've got Sirius XM radio in the truck,
Right.
and we pay for that subscription, and so she wanted to put it in the house, and I said I think they allow that now, but hell, I don't remember all that login information. So I was going to my Chevrolet, because it's through
through Chevy. Yeah.
So by the time I got started,
mine's through my Ram dealer. I hear you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I started hooking into that, and by God, she'd already had that done and through before I could even snap a finger. I said, "Holy crap, so fast!" And she put it all in. She says, "I got it on TV now. You can stop worrying about it."
Yeah.
Oh God, quick, really quick.
Nice. There you go. So, yeah, and CC, the 1.5 Huan Yang, yeah, that's about 3 amps, 2 to 3 amps, but that's at full bore. So you're never going to have. Remember, it's a pulsed connection, and so it's not really continuous. So really, you can easily get away with 18 with no issue. But yeah, if they recommend 16, definitely go with 16, because you want it to be efficient. Also, you don't want to bog down anytime. Yeah, that's I've got the 2200, and I don't even remember what gauge wire I used for mine. Yeah. So how's it going, Russ?
Shoot, man, I took a break last night. I went to bed at 9 o'clock this morning.
Yeah.
I woke up after your show started this afternoon.
Yeah.
And I said, no, well, I just now started to open my eyeballs. And I didn't want to sleep that way. But, it's been raining over here and stuff. And so that just, when it finally I went to sleep, finally, it kept me out for a long time.
Yeah, and I hear you. I'm
all of a sudden you have all of a sudden you have another show come. I said, what? 2 in 1 day? We hardly used to get him to do one a night. Now, like pulling teeth.
Yep. 2 in 1 day. Yeah, I was. Last night I was telling the earlier crowd. Last night or yesterday actually. My dad asked me to come by. I'll tell the story again. My dad asked me to come by to put in a plug for a range.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. I got this. Let's see if I can catch it. But I got a mosquito buzzing around here. It's driving me nuts. I'm hoping it doesn't bite me, or I'm gonna have to go in the house and switch into jeans. But anyway. So my dad asked me to come by, and everything with my dad is never easy. And what I mean by never easy is, he's not like me that he buys stuff. Like I buy 3 or 4 excess of. If I don't have something, I'll just go out and, I don't know where my pliers are. Okay, I'll look for them for like 5 minutes, and if not, I'll go buy another set or order a set or do something else and then wait for the set to come in through Amazon the next day. Okay,
Right.
done. Well, my dad, if he doesn't have a set of pliers, he'll make do with something else. Oh, you're very welcome, Cece. Yeah, the female connectors, it's yeah, well, it is what it is. Keep trying. You'll get good at it. It's just, it takes a while. Well, it'll take one or two failures, and then all of a sudden you'll be decent at it, and then a few more mistakes, and you'll be awesome. Hey, I didn't get awesome by not making mistakes. I got awesome because I am the king of mistakes.
Okay, there you go, folks. You heard it here.
There you go. Hey, that's a good T-shirt. I'm gonna make one of those. I am awesome because I am the king of mistakes.
Uh-huh.
Well, anyway, so let me see. Make sure this is red. Okay, so like I was saying, my dad, that's a problem. But so here's what happens. I go over there with my electrical tools. I go over there. Let me put myself on the little wider screen so.
Oh, by the way, before you get started, Dan says for me to tell you, surely you can't be serious. And
I am serious, and stop calling me Shirley. So anyway, shoot. Hang on a second. I forgot to clamp this thing down so I can actually.
Oh, yeah.
So.
We don't want no solder bridging.
No. So anyway, so yesterday I go to my parents' house to give my dad a hand with the Okay, so here's the story. Let me.
Okay, well, CNC sent you a friend request on Facebook.
Oh yeah,
Clinton Caraway.
You got it, Clinton. I'll answer it. Well, sometime when I actually have my phone. Do I have my phone with me? Oh, I left my phone in my other room.
I don't know. You want to borrow mine?
I'm good. So anyway, what happened was fine.
Yesterday on it.
my dad has an issue with his range. The range is an $1,800, stovetop oven range.
Yeah.
I mean, top of the line. It's a glass top and. Oh, phenomenal. Mm-hmm. It's been, he's like had it for 5 or 10 years, but well, he wasn't going to buy another one that expensive again. And 2 of the tops are failing or have failed. He's only working on 2 tops. Mm-hmm. He's got he basically has on the 4 tops, there's 6 burners. So you know how that works,
right.
2 double burners, small, large. And then anyway, only 2 burners work out of the 6. Long story. And so he tells me, "Hey, could you give me a hand doing this? Because I gotta, I want to swap the oven, and the other one is hardwired in. See if you can put a box for me, a receptacle, and wire the plug for the new one so we can swap them out." I said, "Yeah, no problem. It should be a 10-minute job, right?" 6 hours later. So what? Well, first of all, the first thing I said to my dad was, "Dad, they cost $15 a piece. The knobs, the insides, the knobs, and that's what goes wrong with those things. It's just the rheostat. It's the knobs. It's very. There's nothing really fancy-wancy about those things, you know." If the board is working, the board is nothing but a bunch of timers and stuff and relays. The actual and they're solid state relays, so the knob is actually what controls the amount of heat and stuff like that. Right. And that's more for the oven, the solid state relay. So anyway, so he goes, no, I already bought the oven. And he goes, "If you want, you can have the old oven." I go, "Well, yeah, deal." So now I got a new oven for my house, and all I got to do is replace the 4 the four things. It's sitting on the back of my truck. I got to remember to bring it down. So, so what happens? I go over there, and of course, nothing is. First of all, I got to bend down and underneath, and I hate, you know how much I hate bending down. So,
yeah.
But I had to get down there. I connected the plug, perfect. Then I went down, and the other range, he had it's one story after another.
Mm-hmm.
He had cemented and put a marble floor on the kitchen, and this stove is on an island. In dead center, it should be in the back, you know, for most ovens, but this other one had it coming down the middle or something like that. So he had a flexible conduit coming out of a pipe embedded in concrete and tile in the ground in the middle, coming straight up. So basically we had to, and the deal was, supposedly, my brother, who still lives at home with my dad, and my brother and my dad were supposed to cut a groove for me so I can reroute the cable, cut a groove in the thing.
Right.
Now, when I got there, I can't get the chipping hammer to work. And then, all right. So I grabbed the chipping hammer, and he goes, "How'd you get it to do that?" And I go, "Dad, let me ask, how were you chipping it?" So he showed me how he was chipping. Now, this is a man that has decades more experience than me, 57 years as a general contractor. But he's had men work so long for him that, and well, he's 77. He's due. I mean, he's due to have, you know, he's got the right. He's earned the right. But he's pushing the chipping. This is one of those Bosch hammer drill chipping, you know, switching.
Yeah.
And he's pushing it, and that just deadens the thing. I said, no, Dad, why are you? You know, he's pushing it with all his might, and I go, "Dad, look!" And I held it with one hand, and it went and vibrated and bounced and smashed through the. Now, slow, because we're talking. I mean, the age of this concrete slab. Well, let's see. I was 14 years old, so it's 40 years. It's going on 40 years. That when I remember when he poured the new kitchen. But as everything that he does, you know, I love my dad to death. Let me give you an example. My father tells me, "Listen, don't go overboard with the house. Don't start with a 3,500 square foot house. Start with a small house, and when you need more, add on to it. It'll cost you less in inspections and stuff." Okay, so my dad basically wants me to put this hodgepodge together of one small house with a bunch of additions on it. Ultimately, that's what I'm going to end up doing. I know better. I know better because that's the house I grew up in. The house I grew up in is basically an 1,800 square foot house, but now it's 4,200 square feet.
With all the stuff y'all put in,
4,200. I'm not kidding, because in college, my senior project was to architecturally. Well, not my senior project. One of my final project in one of my drafting classes was to actually draft an entire set of plans for the house and for my own house. And I measured and I did everything. So I actually have a set of plans for that house as it is now. And it's a mess. Well, anyway, well, think about it. 4,200 square foot, and they're on a 1/6 acre lot. They're on 75 by 60. The lot 75 by 60, I believe.
That's not much land for that big of a house.
No, not at all. Hang on a second. Let me double check that number, because I'm looking it up real quick on the site, because I'm just kind of curious. Oh, my back. No, it's 75. It's 75 by 80. Okay, so he's got a 75 by 80 lot. Okay, so 75 by 80. Let me do the math here. 75 by 80 is 6,000 square feet. Okay, so imagine 4,200 on 6,000 square feet. He's butt up against all the edges.
Yeah.
He's got a bit of a space for a driveway and 2 driveways on the side. And that's it.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh man, back is killing me. So, well, bottom line is that house was piecemeal from the get-go. So, even the electrical, he's got a whole house generator.
Mm-hmm.
And rather than do what I advised them to do, which is get a 200 amp transfer switch,
Mm-hmm.
he decided to, no, it comes with it. It comes with the Generac came with a small breaker, like a 75 amp panel, something like that, 100 amp panel.
Oh boy.
And what happens is he had me do it, so I almost did it the right way. I mean, I did it the right way, but there's just so much you can do. Oh boy. What you got to do is you got to wire the panel. You got to wire the heavy duty cable. I believe it's four gauge cable or 2 gauge from the Generac to the panel. And then, and this is where the tough part comes in. First of all, their panel is located in the hallway in the house. Okay. So he put the other panel next to it in the next bay over, and that's fine and dandy, except we had to decide which breakers he wanted. So now this panel, which has switches, basically you gotta half the house is controlled by the main panel.
Mm-hmm.
Half the house has dual-sided breakers from the Generac panel.
Wow.
You know? It's a nightmare. Oh, I get over there. Let me lean back because this is going to be an interesting story. So I get over there, and Dad, I need okay. So the beginning of the job took 10 minutes. Well, no, after I chiseled out for 45 minutes, the stupid little 2-foot trench.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then I connected everything and it was perfectly fine, except I go, now I do everything by the book. I test everything. Okay. First of all, there's no ground. There's only a neutral and 2 hot wires in the conduit. Luckily, the conduit was metal. However, the conduit was buried in the ground. So I had to take the flexible conduit, shove it in the 3/4 inch or the 1 inch buried conduit so it can make a decent contact for ground. Not by any means code.
Yeah.
But at least there's a certain level of ground. Oh. So what happens? I go to test the outlets. 220, no problem. I got 240 volts, boom, from the hot to hot. Piece of cake. Then I go hot to ground, okay, 120. Hot to ground, okay, 120. Beautiful. And that's to the case because I had wired the so basically it's feeding through, that voltage is going back through the tubes in the house, or probably just down into the earth.
Yeah.
And then back to the neutral on the pole. Well, so I go hot to neutral. Nothing. I go the other hot to neutral. Nothing. I go, what the hell? I know I wired it right. So we went back to the panel. That neutral was disconnected completely.
Oh, look out.
He had no neutral and no ground on that. That old stove of his was running on strictly on the 220 ungrounded. If there would have been an issue with that, you would have been the ground.
Yeah.
So yeah. So needless to say, at least I feel better that that's fixed. Oh, I wonder if I have any Advil here. I thought I had some Advil here. I guess not. My back is killing me. Okay, so that was That was my 10-minute job. But wait, there's more. So now my dad, meanwhile, I got to tell you, I'm taking the hit for my brother.
Yeah.
I am taking the hit. Because, see, when I got there, you're going to love this story. So when I got there, my mom is just like, oh, son, I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're here. I go, Mom, what's wrong? They've been at each other's throats for half an hour to an hour now. They're driving me crazy,
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing she can do. She wants everybody to get along.
Right.
And, fathers and sons, my
Mm.
brother volunteered to replace so their hot water heater went bad. They got an Insta-Hot. It went bad. What happened was they've got a sub panel, a little 70 amp sub panel, and it had one breaker, a 60 amp breaker in it, and either the black hot bare wire touched the side of the case and caused the insulation to melt about 2 inches and shorted the whole thing out, or the heat from the it was number 6 gauge cable, so it should have been enough. Should have.
Jeez, that's pretty good size.
But I think 6 gauge is good for. I got to look back at my notes. I think it's 40 amp. I forgot, but it's a 40 amp. Well, no, it's a 60 amp circuit, so it should be a little more. But anyway, long story short, he decides. He says, "Dad, this is all wired wrong," and he was right. And then on the other hand, my dad said, "No, this should be this way," and he was partially right. So both of them were right, but my brother wanted to. He says, "Let me take these cables, cut them shorter, and I'll use them for my jacuzzi, which his room is right adjacent to the hot water heater, and he could run the lines to his jacuzzi, no problem. His jacuzzi only needs 30 amps, so that's more than enough." And then he was saying, "I'm going to go to Home Depot and buy some cable and run a new cable." Now this thing is 70 or 80 feet across the attic to the other end of the house, so I don't know how he's going to do it, but anyway. So my dad and him are going at it. They're going, "No, you got to do this. No, you got to do. No, it's just the breaker. It's just fine. All you got to do is cut that wire, put it shorter, and use it." "No, Dad, this breaker is, and my brother had a point. The wire was black on the edge because of the heat. That's what happens when a wire gets overheated. Secondly, the breaker was black on the edge. It's all bad contacts. Nobody's using Noah locks. So, aluminum oxide, the gel, whatever. Anyway, so what happens? He's at it. And so, like I said, I took the hit by saying, "Dad, give me a hand here with the oven." So we left my brother to his own devices. He works best alone. And boom, I got him covered. And but every once in a while, I got tired of my dad, and then I go, "Okay, I'll take care of this. I'll take care of you. Relax. I'll take care of this." My dad can't relax. He walks over to my brother, and then within half an hour, they're screaming at each other again.
Oh man!
Oh man, it's so funny. And I know my brother. If he once he has it up to here, he shuts down. He goes in his room and he says, "I'm not doing anything else." Then they're going to be without hot water heater, and then I'll get stuck with it.
Yeah.
So I don't want that. So anyway, he took care of that problem. Meanwhile, now comes the fun part. "Hey, Dad, I need a hand. Let's roll the stove in." So we dragged the stove over. I plugged it in. Everything works perfectly fine. We pushed it in. It did not fit.
Oh, Christ.
It's an island, and imagine a U-shaped slot with a counter. The counter is all marble on top. with obviously a layer of thin set, and then underneath it, it's a 3/4 plywood.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's a cabinet with underneath, there are some pieces of wood sticking down. Because, I'll say this, because that oven is not the first oven. Here's what happened. The original oven that was originally designed for set, it's shorter. So it set on top of the cabinet base.
Ah, okay.
6 inches up to give room for the extractor, which is also buried under the thing. Now, the extractor just attracted rats. I don't know what the hell happened one time. So they sealed off the extractor. Okay, fine. So they sealed that off. When he replaced his oven, he just cut 1 inch in from the walls. 1 inch. He cut that baseboard, just broop, 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 cut it 1 inch in, and the other one was able to slide in on the floor. This one was about 1 inch wider than the old one. The old one had a lip on the top, so some trim work.
Mm-hmm.
So it was fine. This range is exactly 23, and I know because I've measured it so many times, 23 3/4 inches to the millimeter,
Mm-hmm.
to the micrometer, to the micro inch, to the micron. That's it.
Yeah.
And that's how wide it is. All right. At the beginning, first thing we see was, the wood sticks out a little bit underneath the marble. So I go, oh, that's what's blocking it. So now came another entire task. Oh, thanks, Clyde. Number 8 is good for 40. Okay. So number 6 would be good for 45 or 50. So maybe 60 that they have it on is pushing it. They shouldn't have a 60 amp breaker on there anyway. I meant to tell my brother, but because I think it's an 11 kilowatt. So they got to have a 50. Anyway, excuse me. So what happens? Or 13 kilowatt. My dad gets out a grinder. The grinder has the dullest sandpaper blade on it. He goes at it. I just relax on the couch for a little while. He goes at it, barely taking off any of the wood, And I go, Dad, about, 45 minutes later, we go to put it back. Nothing. Still won't go in. And then I go, Dad, do you have perhaps an oscillating spindle, an oscillating sander? Because I got all this stuff here at home and easily available now. Yeah. So now, 45 minutes. Another 45 minutes passed by. This is what I'm saying. I was there 6 hours. I'm not kidding. It took half an hour to 45 minutes to find first his oscillating saw, and then the blades that would fit on it. And the blades, the first blade he had, no, this fits fine. This is fine. It looked like a knife blade because the teeth were completely worn. Dad, that's not going to cut anything. So we finally find a decent blade, and then I have at it, and I trim the wood. And then just when I'm trimming the wood, I noticed, I bet you that it's not going to make it because of the wood on the bottom. We shove it back in, still doesn't go in past the first quarter inch.
Mm.
And then we look and we say, oh, it's hitting the bottom. It's hitting the bottom. It's not hitting the bottom. It wasn't hitting the bottom. But I cut the bottom all nice and neatly. So now the bottom is more than enough. And then we tried to put it back in. No, it doesn't work. Now, by this time, my brother's already finished doing his work, and he's come. He's taking a look, and it's hitting the marble. I go, yeah, Dad, it's hitting the marble. That's what that's what I've been trying to tell him. He goes, okay. Now comes the quest to look for a diamond blade.
Oh, Lord.
Or a tile cutting blade.
Mm-hmm.
By this time, it's about 2 or 3 in the afternoon, 3 o'clock, because I remember I headed home at 4. No, I headed home at 5. It was about 4 o'clock in the afternoon at this time, and we're looking and we're looking and we're looking, nothing. And he found 2 other grinders, though. Meanwhile, he's still looking, and I took a break, and then I go back out, and I go, Dad, and I call my dad, why don't you use this? One of the grinders he had a masonry bit on it, a masonry blade. And I go, oh, yeah, I think that'll work. So I start carefully cutting with the masonry blade and stuff. And he goes, oh, let me at it for a little while. So he starts cutting with the masonry blade. And, there's a story about how kids, when they're 12 years old, or when they're 16 years old, they think their parents are idiots. And then when they're 20 years old, it's amazing how it's amazing how much their parents have learned in just those 4 years. And then later, there's a poem that says, oh, my dad was an idiot. I argued with my dad. Oh, my dad's a genius. And then later at the end is I miss my dad, that kind of thing and stuff.
Right.
Well, my dad, I still consider him a genius and incredibly smart and knowledgeable about many things. But at 77 years old, or 78, he's lost it. He's lost some of it, because he goes to grind the thing. This is a knowledgeable man who taught me how to do this the right way. The nut was sticking. First of all, okay, now let's go back to I don't have a set of pliers. Let's do it with this. We'll make do. We'll take care of it. We'll take care of it. We'll take care of it. That grinder that I was talking about had a flat grinding blade, but the spindle was a threaded one.
Yeah.
Now the spindle's about an inch and a half big. So what happens? He had one of those from a different saw blade. He had a nut. And then another nut. I'm talking a 7/8 inch nut, a fender nut with just dropped in the spindle to acting as a washer to push this thing up. In the meantime, the shaft in the middle stuck out about 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch past the flat surface of the grinder. So yeah, it could be used as a grinder if you use the tip, but don't try to use it flat, because you're gonna, Well, sure enough, he was using it flat and rubbing up. I go, Dad, you're okay. Oh yeah, okay. I got. He got the hang of it. I didn't have to tell him much. But now, whereas I am trying to grind down so all the dust goes down, he's grinding sideways and up at a 45-degree angle. So now we've got marble dust caking the entire kitchen, and it's a big kitchen with a smog of dust. I walked out of there. I can't breathe in this thing. And then my brother comes out, Dad, why don't you get a dust mask? Let me do that. After all of that, maybe they took off a 1/16 of an inch.
Damn.
So it came in another inch. When it came in that inch and stopped, the first thing I did was I go, oh, let me check something out. Dad, let me have that measuring tape. Measure twice, cut once. We should have done that from the beginning, because I measured the front. It was 1/32 of an inch short of 29 3/4. That's the front. The middle was 1/4 inch short, and the back was 1/2 inch short. So we'd be grinding there till the cows come home.
Lord have mercy.
Long story short, too late. This was yesterday. This is what I did yesterday. There's the question. Hey, what did you do yesterday?
That's why your back is killing you.
That's what my back. Partially, my back is killing me because everything I had to do stretched and down on the ground.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, because I couldn't go up to wherever I was because I had an overhead thing, so I was stretched and leaning over. I was cantilevered the whole time.
My goodness.
And then I got these boxes that I'm doing, which don't help. Well, anyway, so yesterday I finished. I said, look, I got to go home. I got these boxes to finish because I had George Rothfuss's box to complete, which I finished today, and then the plan was if when I finish the boxes, I'll go back there. I was gonna get a circular saw with a diamond blade, which I have. He can't even find that. He can't find a circular saw in his house.
Dang.
No, it was just, oh my God. It's like, and these kind of things, like I got to tell you, I don't get frustrated at many things, but one of the things that frustrates me the most, and this is probably what's driving me to build the shop, is when time is wasted because you can't find something. You know, time is a finite asset.
Yes,
and I got to tell you, it's not fun. It's not fun when you can't find something.
Amen.
So that's the story of of the nightmare that is. And then we loaded the oven up on my truck, and it's still on my truck. But I'm content. I mean, it's bottom line is I really left there because I've got my own family to feed, and my wife had a couple tutorings, so we're trying to get as much money together as we can for the new house.
Right.
So my wife's doing some extra tutorings. I'm doing some extra jobs here and there, and so maybe we don't have to deal with financing anymore. We'll see. So then just pay it all off ourselves. But in the end, I was just tired of being over there. I mean, 6 hours. And I figured, look, I did what I came here to do, which is the electrical. The rest is a simple matter of cutting a piece out and sliding it in, and done. So, if they can't do that, I mean, I'll give them a hand, but because I know my brother. Well, I know my brother and I know my dad, and my brother will ignore stuff until he's 150% ready to jump on it.
Yeah, procrastinator then.
Oh, as much as I am, we're cut from the same cloth. Although I'm a bit less than him. He'll my mom has said he'll drown in a glass of water.
Oh Lord!
And I know what he's going through because I went through it too. But there's a time where anxiety gets to the point. Well, look at Charles Deering. I mean, perfect example.
Oh,
I mean, self-admittedly so. He. I mean, I wouldn't say this if he didn't say it himself. Sometimes you can't get out of your own way.
Yeah.
And I've been there. I've been there numerous times. All of a sudden you get to that anxiety stage, and then forget it. You can't do a thing. And sometimes it still happens to me, but not as often. But yeah, one thing that I've learned is whenever that happens to you, if you push through it, that's the best thing you can do for your sanity, for your health.
Yeah.
And so it never happens again, because it's a catch-22 situation. If you don't push through it, it gets worse the next time. It's like drugs. Well, I don't know about drugs, but from what I hear, it's like drugs. You get addicted to something, and then the more you take, the more you want. et cetera,
Yeah.
et cetera, et cetera. Well, anxiety is the same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing. It's like if you don't overcome it the first time around, it'll get harder the next time and harder the next time. And then there may be a point, maybe like it came to me, where I got so upset at myself and at the anxiety that I just barreled through it. And it was not easy. It took me 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
But bottom line,
Yeah.
My brother and my mother are still living with it. Not really, living with it is all I will say. And so most days my brother is not a problem. Very productive day. The best thing he ever had was when he was working at up there at Bald Head Island. Because I got to tell you, when he was working, and that's what happened to me with Santa's Enchanted Forest. I had this issue at a time. Hang on, I'm trying to get the next cable here. I had this issue happen to me at a time when I first started having when I first started getting Santa's Enchanted. I got the gig first, and then I started getting the serious anxiety issues. And at that point, I remember the first year at Santa's, I was in a complete fog. I was up to 4 or 5 of the blue pills a day.
Wow.
One blue pill is 2 peach, 1 peach is 2 pink, and 1 pink is 2 white. Or however it works out, I've forgotten. But you started with 4 of the little whites a day, and then you increase it and you increase it, and it got to the point where, and my wife knew me at the time. That's when she met me. I to this day, I will continue to tell everybody that I got a gem of a wife. On the one hand, she knows what I'm going through because she went through anxiety in her senior year. Now, she wasn't medicated for it. She pushed through it, so she handled it. But she knows the deal.
Yeah.
And oh my God, she not only did she help me through it, but anyway, what I was getting at is the work kept my mind from dwelling on the nervousness. And that's a big, huge part of it. Huge part of it. Because
By the way, Chris Copenhagen says, "What is this? 2 for Tuesday?"
2 for Tuesday, Chris.
And Dean Joe showed up. Hi, guys.
Hey, Dean, how's it going? Yeah, Dean's got some issues with his. Feel free to. Russ will read the comments to me. Feel free to ask me any questions you want. I'm just doing some soldering. Because I know that you've been having some growing pains on the CNC. Dean is constantly saying he's upset at the fact that I didn't start building my Javi boxes sooner because he started and already bought his. He had just finished buying his stuff when I started doing the Javi boxes.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, I know. It happens.
Yeah.
It's all timing. It's all about timing. You know how it is.
Yeah, and Dean, he just didn't come through quick enough, did he?
Yeah.
He was still in that processing stage.
Yep. So, yeah, but I'm overjoyed. Well, Dean, if you ever decide to save some money, sell all your parts and and buy a hobby box, just saying, I'm always here for you. But anyway, put this in the right order here. So yeah, what was I saying? So yeah, my brother is. I love my brother to death, and but there's certain things that I cannot talk to him about because, see, my mother and my father try to tell him the right things to do, but he won't hear it, and then he shuts down.
Yeah.
And I know my brother, and I know when he shuts down, so I avoid it, and thus he doesn't avoid me.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand them because
Yeah.
I've been through it. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. It's not like I'm being hypocritical. It's just to each person, his time will come when he's
Mm-hmm.
ready, and if he's not, okay, so be it. I've learned one thing in life: nothing matters.
Oh well, you might want to rephrase that a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Dean,
Yeah.
that's what he should have done was sell it all and get yours.
Well, you're not too late. You can still do that. All right, let's see what I got here. Okay, so let's do this.
Yeah, Dean, you can sell it as a partially built system. You might get a little extra money for it. Save some of that labor.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
All right, so here's another one. There we go. There's red. There's blue coming up.
So got it down to a system, which terminal is which color, huh?
Oh, yeah. After 114 of these, yeah.
Dean says, you guys want to buy it? Russ? Javi?
Well, let me know what parts you have, Dean, because if you want, I mean, I'll do something. I'll arrange it somehow that if you send me a list of all the parts you have, if they happen to be the parts that I'm using or most of them, heck, I can make a JaviBox for you, have it all working, and done, and then I mean, obviously with an added fee for the labor for the work, but I'm willing to do that. That's not a problem. Help you out there.
Javi says, no, nobody wants it when they can get a JaviBox. Javi made my stuff obsolete. Oh, well, you just got an offer. Send him what you have, and
well, let me know. Let me have a list of what you have,
right,
and then down to the last component, and then I'll tell you what to send me, and we'll see what I can use, and I'll work up a price for you. And it'll be cost plus a few hours labor, and if that suits you, then perfect. You'll get a brand new JaviBox.
he said it's everything spec'd on Gatton's website.
That's yeah, but there are numerous things spec'd on Gatton's website, so that's the problem. Yeah, because I mean, he specs out the stuff from what's this place from make your CNC. What's the name of that CNC company that sells the parts?
You got me. I can't right now.
I forgot already. Router parts, CNC router parts, I think, or something like that. Well, anyway, there's just send a list, and I'll let you know the price. Because I'm obviously I'm kind of on vacation, but as of the 2nd of January, I'm not doing anything.
He said he'll make a list for you.
Yep, perfect. Just send me exactly what you got, and then I'll see what I can do. And it might be an additional $15, well, $30 each. 15 each way or so to ship the motors. But honestly, if you do that, I'll wire the motors up for you as well. So I mean, that And that way you'll have everything. You won't have to worry about any wiring whatsoever. Just all you have to do is what all my customers do with the JaviBox, which is mount 4 motors, plug it into the computer, plug it into the wall, turn it on, and you're good to go.
He says it's a pain because I have it all installed and ready to go. Just can't get the laptop to communicate with the breakout board. I have zero skills.
Yeah. Well, if it's all connected, now let me ask you something, Dean. And I know it should work as is. Okay, so let me ask you something. There's 2 things. Number 1, are you using the green board? And what I mean by the green board, hang on, let me yank one of these out. Give me a second. Let me just finish coiling this thing up here. And let me go grab my thought I had one laying around here. Hang on. Be right back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Question. Wait, let me just walking and chewing gum at the same time here. Okay, here we go. There's 1, 2, 3. I got one more left. Is it, by any chance, is it this board that you've got wired up? Or possibly this one. I mean, but they're both the same, really. Just curious. I froze?
No, you're good to me.
I'm good. Okay, so
maybe he froze.
Maybe he froze. Is it this board by any chance that that you've got? I'll wait for your response as I continue to the next one of these things. I'm just gonna, just so it's not in my way, I'm gonna curl this up first. I'm sick and tired of it. It looks like it's back. Okay, so yeah, we didn't freeze. It might have been your side. Is it this board that you have, Dean? Out of curiosity.
Or the red one.
Well, or the red one, yeah. Some people call it the Sane Smart. It's actually the STB 4100.
Yeah. I got one of them that he had on his website, and it's still sitting in the package, and along with the that Ethernet not smooth stepper.
The UC CNC.
Yeah. The 400. ETA.
I hate that. I hate that.
I have all that still sitting in a package I've had for some number of months now.
Yeah.
Maybe a year. I don't know. It's still sitting there. I doubt that I might end up using it. I'm probably gonna try to get rid of it.
Try to sell it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't see any response from Dean yet.
Here it is.
STV3.
It said it looked like it, but not exactly.
Okay, mine's well. Oh, yeah. Let me see if it actually says anything on this one. But is it a USB board? Yours? Let me see here. STV3. Let me look and see which one it is. Oh, no. Yeah, that's a parallel port board. Ah, okay. Yeah, no, can't use that at all. I don't do parallel. I don't like parallel. I mean, I would recommend you just swap over to this one, unless you have a custom enclosure. Just swap over to this one. I'll show you how to wire it, and it's like $40, and you're done. You got to do all the work, but okay. So where is my? Here it is.
He says his is green.
Yeah. A lot of them are green. But yeah, I looked and saw which one he had. It's from Saint Smart. It's a parallel port board. So
yeah.
So
that's the kind I have sitting back there in the shop too. It's a parallel.
Yeah, I've got a few of them lying around. Actually, come to think of it, let me see something. Yeah, I think this is it. Gee, not that I don't have a million boards, but is it this one?
Mine's not even like that one.
Yeah, this one here is a Saint Smart parallel interface board version V3, STV3, 5-axis. Yeah, this is this one. This is his. Now keep in mind this power. This is here for power, not for communication for USB. It's only a parallel port board. Some people get confused and they go, "Oh, let me just," and they rig a cable up and parallel to parallel and go, "Oh yeah, this is USB to USB," and they go, "Oh, this is a USB board."
Yeah, everything
it's a 5-axis. Yeah. That's it. That's the board.
He's got two of them in case one of them blew up.
Oh, you mean you have two of them in case one of them blows up? But honestly, you shouldn't have just two, because what you got to have is, hang on, you have to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let me put these away. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 of the spare boards in case
one blows up.
In case one blows up. And that's only here. I got more in the shop. Obviously, I bought 100 of them.
Yeah, he said he parallel, but he bought a UC 100.
Yeah. Honestly, I mean, if you wanted to sell all that stuff, hopefully you could find a buyer in the, just tell people, listen, anybody wants to save some money, I'll sell these things at whatever. Help me out here. I want to buy a JaviBox, and then and put it out there. Because there's a lot of people that don't want to buy a JaviBox and they want to do it themselves, and they wouldn't mind saving some money.
Yeah.
But yeah, honestly, if it were me, I would sell the UCC&C. I would sell the parallel board and just buy one of these puppies and or one of the red ones and have a nice day.
He said, "Where do I get it? I'll order one tonight."
All right. Let me see. Let me get you the Amazon link.
You gonna put that in the chat there?
Yeah, I'll put it in the chat.
All right.
Let me see here.
He says he don't care about the money. I just hate giving up on something I start, you know?
That's not a problem. I completely get it. Completely get it. I think they're like 45. Let me double check here.
He's gonna have to reboot. So
Oh, lucky. Hang on a second. Let me give them there's one for $32.99 and they've got 11 of them in stock. So hang on a second. I mean, I get them a lot cheaper. I get them at $10 a piece from China, but here, hang on. Here is the link.
well, if he has to reboot, it'll still be there when you come.
Yeah, it'll still be there. But anyways, that's the motion controller board, and then I can. I mean, that's an easy matter to wire that one up. I could show you how to do that in my sleep. Excuse me.
Hey man, got Corona?
Yeah, Corona.
I
I don't think so. I got to remind me to ask him. It says the only thing I'm asking is just go ahead and promote my product.
Yeah. Oh, I'm quite sure that'll happen.
Okay, so this is red, and everything else is
Not red.
not red.
There you go.
That is absolutely correct, sir.
See there? I knew I had a genius like you.
That's right. You know your colors. You are a genius. You know your colors. Where did you learn them? Kindergarten? First grade?
Oh, I learned them coming out the womb. I already knew when I came out. He says yes. I guess he's back and got the information now.
Yeah, and just promote me everywhere and anywhere you go, and it'll be good. Just in fact, you don't have to mention that you don't have a JaviBox. You could just mention that Javi's JaviBox, Javi from JaviBox, or whatever. I don't know. It's just there's no actual company, so has helped me with all my blah 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 blah. Whatever. Drive people to the website, and we'll call it even.
He said, "That's it. I use a UC100 on the parallel port."
Oh, so he's way behind because he's answering the question from
well, that's what
before.
He said that earlier.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And I think if he gets that, he'll be ready. He's starting to laugh his tail off. It looks like he's figured it out. He got the wrong board.
Well, it's not the wrong board. It's just
for what he was using.
It's just a pain in the butt to work with that board, and the UC100 is a pain in the ass to deal with.
Yeah,
it just is.
Well, I had heard that, and that's why I got that the 400.
Right. And well, I'm seeing all of the UC's products.
Yeah, it still sits in the back. Hey, touched that thing. Oh Lord. The only thing I've got that I really want to put on, see, I'm still using the old tried and true paper thing for your uh, Z marking, and I've got the Bill Griggs's triple edge finder
Yeah.
sitting right next to that. You had that 400. it
Well,
ain't got hooked up yet either.
when you end up buying your JaviBox at a special price, you'll throw in the probe.
Thank you very much.
Not a problem.
I have been intentions on doing that, and I'm hoping I get the. Well, I was just thinking about it a minute ago. I'm going to get the very last one before you decide to quit.
Well, damn it, I quit.
Oh, well, hell, shit. Let me hurry up, go rustle up them funds.
Yeah, really.
Oh, Lord. And then he says, yeah, but you can have 50 because you will build 50. And because you are wiring them, you will have 50 working units. This being my first ever electronics project.
He's behind his comments are behind about 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, you're right. Yeah.
He said he bought 2 to hopefully make 1 that works.
Yeah.
Oh, I love electronics.
Yeah.
That's just my thing.
It's a beautiful thing.
Uh-huh.
I agree.
I love it.
I agree. My next big project with electronics is I'm getting into all these programmable LEDs.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, the individually addressable LEDs.
Uh-huh.
Because let me tell you, these things are freaking fantastic. And what I mean, okay, there's a how. I mean, there's a. I'll send you a link after the show. But I've been watching these Christmas lighting displays.
Yeah.
With the music and the stuff going on. And there's one in particular which these trees are talking to each other, making fun of each other in between songs. And I mean, they got a whole dialogue going out, and I go, oh my God, I am definitely doing that on my house. I mean, most of these houses, it's for nobody but myself, but most of these houses are what they are is they're give to Cancer Society or this, that. We collect, donate in the box, and then we'll. So that's what they're doing. Hang on, 3, 6, 7. Okay, this much. I'm pulling out cable here, and 4 sets of cables for the long run.
It's kind of funny you brought that up because the wife and I were in the Big Blue box store.
Yeah.
Yesterday, and they had a little setup there of for music, the LEDs matching with this, music and stuff like that.
Right.
She was really digging on that, and before that, she had actually bought some of the strip LED lights from Amazon. And she had, I forget what size she bought, but she put them around the back of the 65-inch TV.
Right.
And, and it plugs into the USB port on the back of the TV.
Yep.
And it's. I told her it looks like a movie theater now.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I love it. I love it.
Absolutely. Hey, Marcello, how are you?
Hey, Marcello.
Absolutely. Look, here's the thing. Like, I've already got it mapped out at the house. I've been doing the floor plans, right? And I'm putting boxes in numerous places. Like, for instance, there's going to be some boxes in the kitchen strictly for LEDs. There's going to be some boxes in the living room strictly for motion detectors. And the motion detectors, let's say I walk into the kitchen in the middle of the night. I'm going to have a full programmed scene where if it's the middle of the night and I'm walking into the kitchen, automatically the lights will dim on slowly. So
Oh, start
it will,
turkey shove you. That's what I'm thinking.
completely. No, here's another one. If my wife wants to get a hold of me and I'm in the shop, and this is probably the most important build that I'm doing. If my wife wants to get a hold of me and I'm in the shop, she can, with the phone, just hit a button, and or I'll put one on the nightstand, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and it will turn LEDs in my shop gradually a certain color, say yellow or
Yeah.
whatever. And then if someone opens the door to my shop, it'll turn red, let's say,
Mm-hmm.
again, gradually. If someone goes through the front gate and I'm in my shop, it'll turn green.
Those are the
Whatever.
kind of things I've always wanted to do.
Because
But
here's the thing. If
yeah.
somebody is on my 5 acres and just arrived, like whether it's the UPS truck or my cousin or my wife getting home, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
in the shop, which I will be most of the time, I want to know about it.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be surprised with a phone vibrating or something while I'm pushing a piece of wood through a saw.
Right.
So
Right.
a gradual, so you understand.
I do.
Likewise, if somebody opens up the door to my shop or comes in, I want those lights to turn on gradually.
Mm.
Like I will have a motion detector in the hallway in between the house and the shop.
Yeah.
In order to get to my shop, most of the time they'll have to go in that way. And likewise, I'll have a motion detector on the driveway. So if anybody comes in the driveway, I'll always know about it.
Yeah. Oh,
This
yeah.
way, this way, nobody has to go in, scream, and scare me after death, and then I won't chop off my arm.
Yeah, I hear that. I hear that.
1, 2, 3, and 4.
Dean said if he had only gotten the CNC bug 30 days later than he did, he would have a JaviBox now, and we'd be talking about his cool Christmas challenge project.
I hear you. I hear you.
Ask you something. Do you think these?
I hear you, Dean. Unfortunately, I don't know anything about the Christmas Challenge project because I was extricated from that website. I don't I don't know. Something happened, and Dave got angry at me for some reason, and or disappointed or something. And bottom line is, I'm not on that site anymore. As a member, I don't have access to it. Can't see anything. Likewise, his YouTube channel, I can't post anything on it. It doesn't pop up. So it is what it is. Let's see here. 2 of them. Oh boy. My back is killing me, guys. But I gotta finish these cables. At least these last 4. Okay, this is going to be red and green. Here we go. There's a red. There's a red. There's a green. And here's another green. So yeah, that's one of the things I'm looking forward to doing, Russ. And the other one is I also want to do the so there's a place called Holiday Coro. Okay, and Coro standing
Mhm.
for coroplast. I thought about making them myself, and then for the prices that this company has on I don't know if you've ever seen any of those decorated those light shows, but
Yeah.
LED light shows. Some of them are these curves, you know. Some of them are Christmas trees, talking Christmas trees. Some are the big, huge mega. They call it the mega tree, and then the candy canes. They have the candy canes, and then they have just sticks, and then they have. Well, anyway,
We used to have houses like that down here that would go all out, but I don't recall any of them actually talking to each other.
oh, it's well, the houses didn't talk to each other. They talk here. Actually, let me see if I can. Let me see if I can get this. Hang on. A
Well, the
second.
way I took it a while ago, you were saying the trees were talking to each other.
They were, but not from one house to another. From
Okay.
on the same house. Hang
Right.
on.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Lighting.
I've never seen anything like that particular.
I will show you
That would've been
which
cool.
one right now and see. Hang on a second. And
I would expect you to, if your wife wanted to contact you and you're in the shop, I would expected you to have a bat phone.
yeah,
You could just
yeah, she can open up the thing. That'd be great.
That would be great.
That would be
man.
fantastic.
Oh. Oh.
Christmas lighting 2020. Let me see. Give me a second. Here we go. This is exactly it. Let me just take a look a little bit while you're here. Just flip over to this channel and watch that for a little bit.
All right.
After the ad, of course.
Let me copy and paste on there.
Yeah. And I saw the whole entire show. I enjoyed it. Save it for later. Watch it with your wife. And I plan to do something very much similar to that. But I'm not going to go ahead and blow all that money the first year. I'm just going to do it piecewise.
I hear you. All right, let me go pull this up.
Yeah. Snowstorm, Dean. Yeah, that's rough. So what do you think of it?
Damn.
What do you think of it?
Wow. That's a lot more than I thought.
Oh,
Man.
that's what I'm looking at. That's exactly what I'm thinking of doing. Not thinking, I'm doing it. It's
and they're actually talking to each other.
yeah. See,
People out can hear that.
Yes.
Son of a- son of a
Well,
bitch.
here's what most of these people do. What most of these people do is they say at the front of their lawn they have a little sign, and they even sell the lighted sign. You could listen to us on something 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 FM, and you set and you put
Right.
the LED lights for the frequency. And
Son of a gun.
yeah, and that's exactly because I'm not going to blast it out all day long, but I
Yeah.
will blast it out on FM,
Mhm. Yeah.
and then let people enjoy the show. And now here's the thing: my house is going to be so secluded that it's kind of almost not worth it. However,
Right. It'd be really
um,
nice if you angle it toward Richard.
yeah, well, yeah, I'll make sure all those big bright lights are blowing his way.
Yeah.
Nah, it's yeah, I by the time I finish something like that between the house build and then the pool and all that stuff, granted, the first year I live there, I'm going to have a display, but by the time I get my good big display, he'll probably be long gone.
Yeah. Dean asked how you boys doing otherwise. Russ, Javi, all healthy and in good shape.
Everything good, everything good. I'm looking forward to well, I'm looking forward to the end of the month as I always do, because I get my trip up. But this time I'm taking my wife up there to a bed and breakfast, to an Airbnb, and we're just gonna, have a nice kidless holiday,
Yes, indeed.
and that's always important. Oh.
Yeah, as far as I'm going, everything still works. It doesn't work as good as it used to, but it still works.
It still works. That's a beautiful thing.
What is enter the Javi Christmas box?
What's that?
Dean said, enter the Javi Christmas box.
Oh, enter the. He probably meant enter the. Enter the Javi Christmas box as a challenge.
Well, that's kind of what I thought, but I'm not real sure what he meant by that. I guess he'll. Bob Lee just joined us. Hello, Bob.
Hey, Bob. Welcome.
Long time no see.
Bob, if you like, I'll send you a link if you want to join us. We're here just chatting. And I'm soldering.
Yeah.
Let me know if he wants in, and I'll I'll send him a link.
If he says it, I'll let you know.
Yeah, I'm just there we go. Ooh, I got every now and then I get lucky and I click all four and they fly into the garbage can by themselves, and
that's a wonderful thing when that happens.
It's a wonderful thing indeed. Speaking of It's a Wonderful Things, I haven't seen It's a Wonderful Life this year. I gotta.
Yeah, I haven't even seen anybody pushing that one.
Well, I got it on my library, so I'll watch it when I want to watch it. But I'm not sure whether watching.
Oh, okay. Dean says no. She said for Christmas light shows, a controller board.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, but the thing is, they sell so many of them, and they're only like $100 each. It's not worth it. That's a market that's saturated, and definitely not. I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that this market that there's so many people that need help, I wouldn't even be making hobby boxes. It's just,
Bruce Williams joined us. He says, "Hi guys, sorry."
Hey Bruce, how's it going?
Check in. Hope you all are well.
Everybody's doing wonderfully, as far as I know. I'm just soldering away as always, just enjoying the company of my friends here, and and
then me.
Yeah.
Crap! I'm out of a drink. I need to get a drink.
Oh, go get a drink, for goodness sake! What are you doing without a?
What are you doing without a drink?
Without a drink on my show? That's crazy. Oh, my back. Well, to catch everybody up who joined late, I spent most of the day at my dad's house for a 10-minute job that should have been a 10-minute job, and it took 6 hours wiring a box for my dad for the oven. Because number one, he didn't have, for a new oven, he didn't have enough tools. The oven didn't fit. Looking for a grinder, looking for this. The actual electrical part of it was real quick, though. And that, as they say, is that. Oh, okay. Just saw your thing there, Bob. Let me hang on. Click here. Click here. And click here. There you go. Oh. Yeah. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them all wired. I mean, all. That's exactly what happened with my dad. He had a few or none, and it was a nightmare situation. Is really what it was. Because my dad would have, say, let me see, what am I missing? Oh, I'm missing the cables. Here they are. My dad would have one tool, and like an oscillating he'd have the oscillating thing. We'd have half an hour to look for it, and then it wouldn't have any blades or the wrong type of blade, and it was just a comedy of errors.
Oh, wait a minute. Did we start from the top again?
No. I just, for the people that came in late, they say, "Hey, what you doing? How's everything?" And then I just gave them the quick story.
Well, Dean says back to his breakout board for a second.
Go ahead.
So he says, so do you agree that the board, that board should work, Javi, or get the one in the link and replace it?
I can't tell you about that board because I haven't really used. I gave up on the parallel port board. I cooked it up once, and I said, screw this. Everybody's got USB, and I'm better off doing USB, and that's exactly what I ended up doing. So, as far as that's concerned, I would recommend get the one in the link, and I'll be happy to walk you through the. Woo!
That was a good one.
Yeah, I'm telling you. And I'll be happy to walk you through the situation there.
Ryan Ballard just joined us. Evening party people.
Now, Bob, I sent you a link. I don't know if you got it. I mean,
Glenn Helwig just joined us. Hi, Glenn. It's been a while since I saw you.
Send Ryan a link if he wants.
I'm not on Facebook at the moment, so I have to.
Well, let me get back on there and see if I sent
it
Bob a link, but I haven't. But yeah, that was a while back. Let me make sure I sent him a link.
He said go ahead and send him one. So evidently he didn't get it. That was at 8:30 my time.
Wait a second. Who did I? No, Bob Lee, and I sent him the link.
Yeah, but he evidently didn't get it.
Oh, okay. Let's try again. Paste. Enter. This time the link, I think, went through because last time for some reason or another the link went through, but it only.
You said you did.
Huh?
You did.
No, I mean it went through the first time.
Mm-hmm.
But I did. Okay, so it went through the first time, but it didn't pop up with that little.
Right. Yeah.
And the second time it did. So.
Dean says so. You wouldn't need the UC 100.
You do not need UC 100 with that at all. Correct.
Okie dokie. There you go, Jim.
I got to be honest with you, though. When I was at my dad's, I'm there bending down, and I'm thinking to myself, man, I'm going to make a whole house. What the hell am I getting into?
I wondered when that thought was going to come up.
Well, I mean,
oh man, it's a big undertaking, man.
It's a big undertaking, but it's done piecemeal, and it's done while I'm over there, peace and quiet on my terms.
You're right.
You know, and if there's ever an issue, I just hire somebody to finish off whatever I started. So, you know, it's not a big deal, but oh my God, when I just have a nightmare doing the simplest of things. Now, granted, if I'm all set up, oh, you can't open it? That's weird. You tried clicking on it and it won't go through? Let me try once again. Hang on a second. Crap. I hate when I lose those stupid little screws.
Yeah, that's a real pain. You never find them.
Well, hopefully something will turn up. All right. So let me...
well, I'll get on Facebook and
hang on. I got it here. Hang on a second.
Okay.
Let me copy. And let me go one more time. Although I don't think it'll help because I just sent them the link twice. Let me try it again. Paste. Send. All right. Check out the latest link. Just click on the link and Bob and see if that works. Oh, wow. I'm going to sleep well tonight with my back killing me the way it is.
No, I have your wife walk on it for you. Give you a little massage.
Wouldn't be a bad idea. I don't know if I'd call it a little massage.
I've never understood the want of having somebody
walk on your back. Yeah.
Your back. No, I don't think I could do that.
It's a little too much. It depends. When I was younger, that was quite entertaining.
I've never had that done. If I did it now, my God, there's somebody be breaking the spine of my back and all them discs going to crap. No thanks.
Oh, so you're also preparing for that big nor'easter or whatever. It's the big snowstorm, Ryan. Well, by all means, may all your solar panels be intact when it comes through. Okay. 3 more left. And then I may or may not, depending on how my back feels, I may or may not wire the motors, but probably I'll do that tomorrow. Ow. Okay. Good shot of booze and then to bed. Who said that? I thought I read it. Let's see. Here we go.
I may have been muted when I read that.
You were. Well, I didn't hear a word you said, so you probably were muted.
I read it with passion too.
What happened?
Oh no, Ryan says they're supposed to get a bunch of snow. Hopefully not too much because they're heading to Florida on Friday.
Oh, really? What part of
Yeah.
Florida?
We have to wait on a response.
Yeah.
Come on now, answer in real time. Real time.
That ain't happening.
No, that ain't happening. Well, I know we don't get any here. Very seldom. He's going to Orlando.
Oh, nice.
Oh crap! Going over there to Disney, are you?
It's a shame that I won't be up there. I mean,
Yeah, you're
I'm
not
gonna be up there from the 26th on, but you'll probably be gone by then.
Evidently, Bob's
26th or 27th. Yeah.
Yeah,
Bob could make
it. Get in. Don't look like it.
Oh, bummer.
Here, I'm gonna.
See if you could send it to him. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm gonna send him a shot. Let me copy this. Okay, I'm gonna send him a message.
Send a letter, Maria. Address it to my wife. Say I won't be coming home.
Gonna start a new life.
Bum, 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 bum. Take a letter, Maria.
That's a good one. B.W. Stevenson.
Yeah,
Okay. Supposedly I sent it.
All righty. They'll be there for Christmas. And how about after that?
Okay. Get it? Hope I sent it to the right Bob.
Bob Lee, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I put on there, and it says I'm friend with him. So, well, he'll be there for Christmas. You'll probably just miss him.
Yeah. I mean, I'm here. Obviously, I'm going to be with the family for Christmas. But next year, if you ever go down to Florida again, I'm 40 minutes away, and obviously not a year, maybe 2 years from now. If you ever go down to Florida, you got a standing invitation to stay at the house when I have it built.
He says he thinks they come back on the 27th.
Ah, okay. Well, I'll be there on the 27th, possibly the 26th, but most likely the 27th. But obviously, I know it's you're with the family. You're not going to take time out to drive half an hour just to see me in an empty lot. But
wait a minute, no, he could do that, but by God, he can use it as a business expense. He can come give you a quote for solar panels.
That's true. That's true.
See there, Bob, I'm always thinking.
There you go. Give me a quote for solar panels. I'll sign off, and you can deduct the whole Disney trip as a business expense.
Exactly. See there. Well, I tell you, what would you have done without me?
Well, I could think of a lot of things.
I was talking to him, by God. He's getting a discount, not you.
I love it. That was funny. Yeah.
Dean said, "Be careful, you'll want to stay."
Yeah, we have a. See, what I do is the following: is I put a fish in the guest bedroom in the you know that old adage. Well, say after I put a fish in the pool house, and then that's where they stay. And then after 2-3 days, that fish begins to smell, And well, they either take a hint or that's when that's when you got to leave. Yeah, that's funny. Alrighty. Yeah, Bob might not be able to get on with the iPad, but he might with the with the uh, with the phone or vice versa. Because sometimes that happens. It's the weirdest thing. So I found this enclosure, this low voltage enclosure from Leviton, and it is just, I mean, it's fantastic. I mean, I was looking at it and I'm going, holy cow, this is perfect. It's a 48-inch enclosure, and I could put all my Cat 5 cables in there. I could put all sorts of really cool setups. And you're muted, by the way. And I mean, I like it. I like it a lot. Coaxial cable, and it goes in between the panels. It's got a vented door, and
Jeff Robinson just joined us.
hey, Jeff, you back for more?
Yeah, he asked Russ.
He was here earlier.
What toys are you getting for Christmas? And I've already got mine. I got me a couple of brand new TVs.
Oh, that's always nice.
I say my wife got the big one. I got a bigger one than I had. Yeah, she's got the 65 inches in the TV in the living room.
My wife got a big TV, and I got a bigger one than I had. I like that. I like that. That's
yeah.
Oh, something fell. Oh yeah, that box.
Dean and Glenn are talking amongst themselves about the border between Canada and the U.S. being closed.
Glenn brought up Michigan. I was mentioning earlier that buddy of mine that I talked to, that I haven't talked to in like 35 years or 25 years, and old high school chum, and he's back in Miami, but he was living in Michigan. He still is back and forth, and I am overjoyed. I had a blast talking to him and catching up, and he was telling me what I already know about the difference between, when you come into Miami and when you come into Michigan. everybody over there, you walk into a Walmart or whatever, you walk into any store and they'll say good evening. You got 6 people. That's it, Home Depot. You walk into a Home Depot, they got 6 people saying, hey, can I help you? Blah blah blah. And then and Miami, I mean, basically the story with Miami is, hang on, I'm tangled up with my chair here. So in Miami, they will do everything in their power to avoid being seen by you.
Yes, they do that here the same way.
Oh my God. It's like, no, that means work. So I'm not going to have them do that. Lady Lake, everybody comes up to you and it's so nice. And it's like, can I help you? Oh, thank you. No, but thank you.
You're not used to that, huh?
Not used to it. It's just crazy. Let's see here. Let me see if there's any way that I can get that screw back.
Well, I don't know why he couldn't open that that link, because that's the same one I'm looking at you on.
Yeah. Found 2 screws, but none of them are the
Not the right one.
3, 4.
You need a trained dog that is trained in screw sniffing.
Yeah.
Go down and find this one, boy.
And he'll point at it. And
Yeah, I swear to God, you drop so many, you can never find them.
that's the famous screw pointer.
Yes. Oh, they're expensive. Oh,
Yeah.
them dogs are expensive.
Oh, screw pointers? Yeah.
Yes, you need one in every shop.
Yeah, that's true. All right, let me just unscrew this one. Take it from here and put it on the other one. Let me put it back over here because I'm going to need that. And then I shall throw that in the one day I'll find more screws for that bin.
No, because it requires bending down. I just I got no desire to do it.
Yeah, I hear you, Glenn. Glenn says he gets on the floor, finds the screw, and then he's not able to get back up again. I hear you.
Glenn is saying hobby, but that could very easily be rusty. Like
Yeah.
When I have to get on this hardwood floor, I don't want to get down there to begin with. These old bones don't like that too much anymore.
Yep, I hear you.
It's a devil of a time with old bones and bad knees. It's hard getting up and down like that. I hate it.
Oh, there's a story I missed when I told you the story of my dad and stuff. I was on it was a marble floor, so I go, Dad, you got to get me something for my knees, and he understands because he's in the same boat. He weighs just a little bit more than me, not much, and we're both about the same size. So he in fact, I didn't come with a belt, and he lent me one of his belts. So we're definitely roughly the same size. And he said, give me a second. He got one of the bath mats, folded it over twice, and there was it worked out. It was nice and fluffy. It was wonderful.
Oh man,
it was great.
Almost gonna say delicious.
It was delicious. It was absolutely delicious. I never tasted a better mat.
What'd you have for supper today?
Well, today, Taco Tuesday.
Ah, I see. We're fixing to have some chili.
Right.
It's a little bit cool out there, so we're gonna have some chili.
Right.
And I'm smelling it. It's not quite done yet, but I'm smelling it. I can't wait, man. I just can't wait.
Yeah.
That's my best British accent right there.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I don't know what the hell accent that was, but it wasn't British.
Well, that's my Dick Dykish English.
I see. Said the blind man. As he tripped over hammer and saw his deaf wife walk into a wall.
Yeah. Well, I had another one to that, but it was a little off color, so I'm not going to say it.
That's wise. That way we won't be limited in our content.
There you go. Jeff Robinson says half-price burgers from Sonic. That's what you had? I would love to have a Sonic burger, but my wife won't eat them.
Well, let me ask you something, because I went to Sonic once, and we don't have any down here, but up there in Cocoa Beach, they had some, and up in Lady Lake they have some, but I've never been to a Sonic since, because when I went to the Sonic, and tell me if this is true or not, guys, I asked for a plain burger, and they would not give me a plain burger. They said they don't do that.
They do have plain burgers.
Okay, see, that guy lied to me. And because of that, Sonic has lost. So Sonic, I don't know how many years ago in Cocoa Beach, there was an employee in the Cocoa Beach Sonic that just flat out lied and said, when I asked for it plain, they said, wait, I asked for this plain. He goes, hey, I'm sorry, we don't serve them plain.
He give them to you any way you want.
Well, that's what
Tell 'em.
that's what I expect with all the rest of them. Is there? I might be mixing them up with another chain. Is there another chain that doesn't give you plain burgers? No,
Not to my knowledge.
no. It was Sonic. It was.
I asked for it just like I want it, and then
Yeah, it was definitely Sonic. You know,
that's
ever since Burger King started with the "Have It Your Way," I mean, have it your way, have it your way, have it your way at Burger King.
Yeah,
Hold the pickle,
yeah.
hold the lettuce, special order, don't upset us. All we ask is that you let us serve it your way.
And
No, those were good times.
I go over to McDonald's and because they do it all.
Yeah, because they got better tasting food.
We do it all for you.
We do it all for you. Yep.
Now Jeff is asking.
2, I'll be patty special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun.
Yes, you can say it.
Oh heck, I mean, you know, hey.
That was a big deal.
I grew up with that, man. I grew up with that.
But Javi was asking if you have a.
Javi was asking?
No, Javi. God dang it, Jeff.
Yeah.
If the comment rolled up, and I lost my mind when it rolled up, and I had to go back and find it. He's asking if y'all have a mask mandate in your area, because we do here.
Well, Miami-Dade, what do you think?
Yeah.
They're ridiculous, but yes, they definitely have a mask mandate. Now, in this other place, oh wait, where am I? Sorry, I'm looking for my you know what? I'm not going to unpack them now. I'm too tired. I'm just going to sit back and relax. I was going to unpack the motors to start building them, but screw that. So, the mask mandate. Here in Miami-Dade, everything. People are paranoid and they're just like, it's ridiculous. It's like they lost their freaking minds. In Lady Lake in Central Florida, it's a little bit different. There are certain mask mandates. See, here's what happens. Here, if you go without a mask, they won't let you in, or there'll be some mask police that will, you know, tell you to get out. Whereas up in Central Florida, only the big chain stores, like, you know, like maybe Sam's Publix, you know, all those places will say in the beginning, you know, because that's a national thing. However, it's not enforced. All the restaurants up there, you don't have to wear a mask because that's the funny part. You got to wear a mask here at a restaurant. Then you sit down, you take the mask off. What the hell? You know, it's just ridiculous. You're going to infect somebody on the way to sitting down? I mean,
that's the whole thing in a nutshell. We went to Texas Roadhouse for some steaks the other night.
Yeah.
And you have to have a mask on when you come in.
Right, but when you sit down, you don't have to.
You walk to your table. But when you sit down, you can take the mask off.
Right, and that's how it is with most restaurants in Miami.
Crazy.
But up there, you could just walk in without a mask. It's not a problem. And there's a lot of people I've seen, even in the post office. There's a sign that says you have to have a mask.
Right. People
ignore it, walking without a mask. You know, protest because it's a big Republican. There's a lot of, let's just say there's a lot of Trump signs out there.
Yeah. Well, at our post office, you have to have the mask on. And you have to stay 6 feet apart.
Same here. Well, that part people do respect because, I mean, you know, look, I'm all for that. I'm all for 6 feet apart. Stay away from me. Give me my space. I've always been all for that, even without this COVID thing, you know, so.
Well, Dean had read a post, and I have seen this same post. It said some guy posted to his family that since we all can't come together this year for Christmas because of COVID, let's all agree to meet up in aisle 23 at Walmart. So you can meet up at Walmart, but you can't meet up at the house because of COVID. But you can go into Walmart.
That's just.
I've seen that same post. He's got another joke down there for you.
That's funny. That's ridiculous, but that's funny.
Yeah, it's kind of the way it is, though.
Well, it won't work that way here because here more than 10 people together, whether you're in the same group or not, is not allowed. Not allowed.
Yeah.
So even if you even if you take your entire family over there and stuff, I imagine it's a little different if you've got 12 kids.
Yeah.
But still.
Well, Dean has a joke for the group, but
go for it. Tell
it's taken four goings on, 4 paragraphs so far.
Well, read it.
I haven't seen the end of it. All right, Dean, I hope I can do you justice. Let me find it again, the beginning. A man hurriedly walks into a barbershop and says, I want a shave and a shoe shine. The barber flicks his towel and immediately walks over to chair 1. He invites the customer to sit down. He lathers up his face and begins to strap his steel straight edge on the leather strap attached to the barber chair. Mm-hmm. All right. As the barber is doing that, the guy notices a gorgeous woman with the tightest waist and the most beautiful crap. It might be getting into some of that off color.
Let me see.
As the
let me read it then, because we're only allowed certain language here. Got a gorgeous waist, tight waist, most beautiful front region he's ever seen. Kneel down. All right. Before him starts shining his shoes, the man says, "You and I should spend some time together at the back of my hotel room." Woman replies, "I don't think my husband would like that very much." Man says, "Tell him you're working overtime, and I'll pay you the difference." She says, "You tell him he's the one with the razor to your throat." Nice. Nice. He's the one with the razor to your throat.
Oh, I bet his barber got a kick out of that one.
Yeah, really. Well, it's about time for me to sit on the recliner, take a couple Advil, sit on the recliner, and watch 5 or 6 hours of YouTube videos before going to bed.
I think I'm gonna go hunt up that.
Yeah, I gotta write a couple letters to let the folks know that to send the the tracking numbers.
Oh yeah.
But other than that, yeah. All right, I'm off.
We'll see y'all, folks.
Yep.
Guaranteed not to be a 3 for Tuesday.
What's that?
I told him it's guaranteed not to be a 3 for Tuesday. And just you already had it twice. It probably won't be.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I'm not getting on. Yeah, 2 hours left. No, I'm good, guys. I'm good.
We'll see y'all folks later.
I may get on tomorrow. We'll see. Have a wonderful evening, everybody. Have a great day. Then bye-bye.